Atsushi Onita, the legendary Japanese professional wrestler widely known as the King of the Deathmatch, has been diagnosed with a cervical spine injury following a frightening in-ring accident that occurred on January 18. The veteran performer, whose career has spanned decades and influenced generations of wrestlers both in Japan and abroad, revealed that while the injury was serious, medical examinations confirmed that there were no fractures to his neck, a result that brought him significant relief. Speaking candidly after receiving the diagnosis, Onita said that he was grateful the damage was limited and emphasized that he would take time to rest and recover, noting that doctors have estimated a recovery period of approximately 2 weeks. The incident took place during a live professional wrestling event when a high-risk maneuver went wrong. According to accounts from the venue, Onita attempted a technically demanding move that failed to connect as intended, causing him to fall awkwardly and land directly on his neck. The impact immediately silenced the arena, as fans and fellow wrestlers realized that something had gone terribly wrong. For a brief but agonizing period, Onita was unable to move, remaining on the mat as medical staff rushed to his side. The tension in the building was palpable, with many spectators fearing the worst given the nature of the fall and Onita's age and extensive history of physically punishing matches. Emergency protocols were quickly initiated, and ringside doctors carefully stabilized Onita before assisting him out of the ring. He was later transported for further medical evaluation, including imaging tests to assess potential spinal damage. Initial fears centered on the possibility of a broken neck or severe spinal cord injury, scenarios that could have resulted in permanent damage or even been life-threatening. However, after thorough examinations, physicians concluded that while Onita had indeed suffered a cervical spine injury, there were no fractures. The injury was categorized as significant but not catastrophic, allowing doctors to project a recovery timeline measured in weeks rather than months. Upon learning the diagnosis, Onita expressed visible relief. In comments shared with media outlets and supporters, he stated that he was relieved it wasn't broken, acknowledging that the outcome could have been far worse. His remarks reflected both gratitude and realism, as he admitted that the scare had forced him to confront the risks that remain inherent in professional wrestling, especially for someone with his long and storied career. He added that he planned to take things easy for a while, saying he would rest and take it slow, as he focused on healing. Onita's career is inseparable from the evolution of hardcore and deathmatch wrestling in Japan. Rising to prominence in the late 1980s and early 1990s, he became synonymous with explosive matches featuring barbed wire, fire, and other extreme elements that pushed the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in professional wrestling. As the founder and central figure of Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling (FMW), Onita helped pioneer a style that was both controversial and immensely popular, drawing massive crowds and influencing wrestling promotions around the world. His willingness to sacrifice his own body for the spectacle earned him both admiration and criticism, but it undeniably cemented his legacy as a trailblazer. Throughout his career, Onita has endured countless injuries, some of them severe, yet he has repeatedly returned to the ring, driven by passion and an unbreakable bond with his fans. Neck and spinal injuries, however, are among the most feared in wrestling due to their potential for long-term consequences. The fact that Onita escaped this incident without fractures or neurological damage is being regarded as fortunate, particularly given the violent nature of the fall. Medical professionals have emphasized that strict adherence to rest and rehabilitation will be crucial to ensuring a full recovery. The wrestling community responded swiftly to the news of Onita's accident. Fellow wrestlers, promoters, and fans took to social media to express concern, support, and well wishes. Many highlighted Onita's influence on their own careers, recalling how his fearless approach inspired them to pursue wrestling or to innovate within the sport. Messages of encouragement poured in from across Japan and internationally, reflecting the respect he commands as one of wrestling's most iconic figures. Some fans also voiced hope that the incident might encourage Onita to prioritize his health, recognizing that his contributions to the industry are already monumental. In the days following the accident, Onita remained under observation as doctors monitored his condition. While the prognosis is positive, cervical spine injuries can be unpredictable, and medical staff have reportedly advised him to avoid any physical strain, especially activities that could place stress on his neck. Rehabilitation will likely include rest, possible physical therapy, and gradual reintroduction of movement to ensure that healing progresses safely. Onita himself has acknowledged the importance of following medical advice, stating that he intends to spend the recovery period resting and reflecting. The incident has also reignited broader discussions within the wrestling world about the risks faced by veteran performers. As wrestlers age, their bodies naturally become more vulnerable to injury, and recovery times can lengthen. While experience can mitigate some risks through refined technique and ring awareness, accidents remain an ever-present possibility, particularly when high-risk maneuvers are involved. Onita's accident serves as a stark reminder of these realities, prompting renewed calls for careful match planning and consideration of long-term health. Despite the scare, there is little indication that Onita has lost his love for wrestling. Throughout his career, he has spoken about the ring as a place where he feels most alive, a sentiment echoed by fans who admire his unwavering dedication. At the same time, he has increasingly taken on roles outside active competition, including mentoring younger wrestlers and making special appearances that do not require the same physical toll as full matches. Observers note that this balance could become more prominent moving forward, allowing Onita to remain connected to the sport while reducing personal risk. Historically, Onita has announced retirements and comebacks multiple times, each return greeted with both excitement and concern. His resilience has become part of his legend, but incidents like this underscore the fine line he walks between passion and peril. The current injury, while not career-ending, may serve as another turning point, prompting introspection about how best to honor his legacy while safeguarding his health. For fans who witnessed the accident firsthand or through media coverage, the memory remains unsettling. The moment when Onita lay motionless in the ring is one that many will not soon forget. Yet the subsequent news of his diagnosis and recovery plan has brought a sense of relief and optimism. Knowing that he avoided fractures and that the expected recovery time is relatively short has eased fears and allowed supporters to focus on wishing him a smooth and complete healing process. In his own words, Onita has conveyed a calm acceptance of the situation. He acknowledged the scare, expressed gratitude to medical staff and fans, and reiterated his intention to rest. His statement about taking it easy for a while resonated with many, signaling a responsible approach that prioritizes well-being over immediate returns. For a performer known for pushing limits, this measured response reflects maturity and awareness born of experience. As the wrestling world watches his recovery, attention will naturally turn to what comes next. Whether Onita eventually returns to the ring for another appearance or chooses to step back further remains to be seen. What is certain is that his impact on professional wrestling is already indelible. From electrifying crowds with explosive matches to shaping the identity of an entire genre, his contributions have left a lasting mark that transcends any single incident. In the meantime, the focus remains on recovery. With proper rest and care, doctors expect Onita to heal within the estimated 2-week period, though continued monitoring will be essential. Supporters hope that this time will allow him not only to recover physically but also to enjoy a period of rest away from the intense demands of performance. For a man who has spent so much of his life giving everything to wrestling, a moment of respite may be both necessary and well-earned. The January 18 accident will be remembered as one of the more alarming moments in Onita's late career journey, but it is also a testament to his resilience and the importance of medical vigilance in professional sports. As news of his condition continues to spread, the prevailing sentiment is one of relief and respect. Relief that the injury was not more severe, and respect for a wrestler who has repeatedly risked his body in pursuit of his craft. Ultimately, Atsushi Onita's diagnosis of a cervical spine injury without fractures stands as a fortunate outcome to a potentially devastating accident. His words of reassurance and his plan to rest have provided comfort to fans who hold him in high regard. As he steps back temporarily to heal, the wrestling community stands united in wishing him a swift recovery and continued health, honoring both the man and the legacy he has built over a lifetime in the ring.